You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Hello, I'm Steven Willis, the host of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. He is the mayor of Corinth. He is Farmer Tom on the show today. Tom, your overalls just threw me off today, man.
Sorry about that, man.
I want to say, do you have a tractor? Is it an international? How does that work? What do you plant? So many questions right now.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. No, I just got a pair and like them.
Hey, well, you're definitely not the first person in Mississippi to wear them.
That is true.
Yeah. So, signing day went about as well as Lane Kiffin could have hoped for. There's flips happening, and just yesterday, Connor Howes flipped from Arkansas to Ole Miss as a big interior offensive lineman for John Garrison's crew. And I'm pretty excited about where this team is sitting. They're pretty much a consensus top 15 high school recruiting class right now. The transfer portal opens up Monday. We'll talk about that in just a second. But I think this signing day went about as well as Lane Kiffin could have hoped for.
Well, it's by far the best signing day. I'm impressed with the offensive line recruiting. It's the best that I've seen in quite some time, at least since the Laramie Tunsil class, which the second best kid, I can't remember his name now, but he left.
Like Greg Little?
Left us and went to Auburn. I forget what.
I know you're talking about. Yeah. He was in that class with
Tunsil, yeah.
Greg Little.
Yeah.
Devin Harper, the offensive lineman that decommitted and flipped from LSU, flipped a Louisiana kid from LSU. That is not an easy task. Connor Hawes from Arkansas has a chance to contribute quite early, and then you've got other players on the offensive line as well. On the lines in the trenches, it went well. I mean, you had Andrew Maddox on the defensive side of the ball committed to Ole Miss as well. Jacoby Hobson at linebacker committed to Ole Miss. The safety classes I love.
Ooh.
I spoke on tomorrow's show. We talked to Michael Katz and Keon Young. I'm super excited about him. Dallas Wilson, I think is his name, was a wide receiver, a 5-star wide receiver with Tampa Bay Tech. And last Friday night, they played against the Lakeland Dreadnoughts, the best nickname in all of sports. Keon Young is on that team. And Lakeland has said, okay, this 5-star receiver, who is the second-rated receiver in all of the country, we're just going to let Keon follow him around. And I looked on Matt Sprett's for the stats to see how he did. Dallas Wilson had 2 catches for 6 yards in that game. Keon Young shut him down. Keon Young is the surprise player for this class, and I think he is going to show up sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah, guys, I'm excited. I know the season didn't go like we had planned, or had hoped, I guess. But if we win our bowl game, we will have won 10 games in 3 of the last 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sustainability, and that's why you get this good recruiting class. That's why I think we'll get some key people in the portal. And, the future's bright.
And you talk about the 3 out of 4 last 4 years, potentially with 10 wins. Ole Miss next year will be going against Mississippi State for a chance to win 5 out of 6 games. That has not happened rare in history. I mean, that's rarefied air there. LSU, there's a chance you're ahead in that series as well. Ole Miss is 4 out of the last 5 in Starkville. The only game that Mississippi State won was the piss and the miss with Elijah Moore that led to Lane Kiffin getting hired. Ole Miss is in a better position than they have been in most of the people's watching lives.
I agree. Definitely for me. We've had little spurts, but we haven't had sustainability. That's why I think it's so critical that we get this 10th win. It'd be something that's just wonderful.
Are you hearing anything, or or wish list or whatever about bowl game possible destinations?
I keep hearing Las Vegas.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't think any of us will know until everything shakes out.
Hmm.
I guess, South Carolina will probably get one of the Florida Bowls. And if Alabama doesn't make it, they'll probably get the other one. I would prefer one of the Florida Bowls.
Yeah.
Just because, but
You have to assume the Florida Bowls is going to take Florida and South Carolina.
yeah.
Out of the 3 bowl games, 2 of them will be Florida and South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I think Ole Miss could sneak into the other one. I think Brad Crawford, who is the super South Carolina homer that last week was talking about all the noise about South Carolina football. He said the Citrus Bowl is going to pick between South Carolina and Ole Miss. And the one that doesn't get to the Citrus Bowl is going to go to the Gator Bowl. And I think the ReliaQuest is going to be Florida.
Cool.
Yeah. That is what he said. And I've heard from parents. So maybe they're talking amongst themselves or whatever, but Las Vegas Bowl against Colorado. I've heard that multiple times from multiple different people.
Yeah, that
so,
would.
Who knows? We'll
just have to find out.
Yeah.
But it's everything is success is a journey, not a destination. So, they've just got to keep building, keep our coaches. I am interested to see how we do in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a whole bunch of portal money freeing up. With a lot of guys that we paid big money going to the NFL. So maybe we will have some surprises in the portal. One guy I would love to have is Marion Brown. I just think he's worth it in the return game by itself.
Yeah, and I think Dane Key has a chance to be Trey Harris level good.
Oh, Dane Key can be Trey Harris level good.
Yeah.
It's
going to be a fight to get him, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks again for watching the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. When we come back, we are going to turn our attention to Chris Beard and the Ole Miss basketball team. But first, I want to let you know, it has to be easy to sign up for a new plan. I love a great deal as much as the next guy, but I'm not about to crawl through a bed of hot coals or wrestle a bear just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no hassle. So when Mint Mobile said it was simple to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I kind of had to check that out. Guess what? It really was that easy. The hardest part for me, sitting on hold to break up with my old provider. Switching to Mint Mobile was smooth, quick, and all online. Their website was super user-friendly. Just pick your plan, order your SIM card, or use an eSIM and activate in minutes. Here's the deal. All 3 months plans, including unlimited plans, are $15 a month right now. Every plan comes with high-speed data, plus unlimited talk and text delivered to the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your current number along with all of your contacts. No need for a fresh start. To get this new customer offer, your free month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. That's mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. That is a $45 upfront payment required. That's the equivalent of $15 per month. New customers on a first 3-month plan only. Speeds slow down above 40 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. The additional taxes, fees, and restrictions do apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Also, get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can get $5 and if they bet $150, they can win $150 in bonus bets if they win a $5 bet. Georgia and Texas is kind of on a knife edge right now. I think Georgia is going to roll in the game potentially. That is my hunch. So when you have a hunch in the middle of your game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place those bets. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place those live bets on the NFL all in one place. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Tom, let's turn the page just a little bit. Chris Beard, let's say he struggled a little bit in the first part of the season, and everybody's kind of wondering what was going on. Narrow wins against Grambling, narrow wins against other opponents in the season. Then they go out to San Diego, and they beat BYU and looked pretty impressive doing it. They were up on Purdue by 7 points with 3 months to go. Honestly, Ole Miss probably should have won that game, and they just beat the brakes off of Louisville. It's gotten to the point where this Chris Beard team is looking like a typical second-year Chris Beard team.
Hey, I'm massively impressed. I think we went into Louisville. I think, if I remember correctly, we're 3.5-point dogs, and we spanked them.
Yeah, beat them down pretty good. And I was talking with Michael Katz about it. And it's like, listen, if you ask somebody who is Ole Miss's best player, they'd probably tell you Matt Morrell, because he's the highest on the draft boards. But if you actually watch the game, it's like, who's the best player? There's 5 players that could be on that list at any given moment.
It's amazing what he's done in just 2 seasons.
Yes, absolutely. Dre Davis, the transfer from Seton Hall in Louisville, big play on the number 3 this season. Sean Padula is absolutely fantastic. You look at Juju Murray, he's playing great as well. This basketball team is ranked, and honestly, after watching them play, Tom, they kind of deserve to be ranked.
Oh, I agree. I think if we keep getting better and better, we got not only a shot at the dance, but, we could make a run, Sweet 16, Elite 8. You never know.
Yeah. It's good stuff. And Chris Beard and the basketball team, they're going to do well. And the Lady Rebs are doing pretty well with Coach Yo as well.
When was the time that our football team, our men's basketball team, and our women's basketball team were all ranked at the same time?
Yeah, that is pretty rarefied air. And the baseball program, you can usually count on to end up in the top 25.
Exactly.
And maybe with the new pitching coaches, they will get in that area as well. But I'm pretty excited. Signing day went great. The transfer portal, everybody's kind of queuing up right now. We talked about Dane Key and Barry and Brown, but there's other players going in there. I mean, Jaheim Otis and Prince Will Amonmielen is in the portal as well. There's a lot of players that Ole Miss fans should probably keep an eye on over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. It's a great time to be a Rebel.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Tom Vanderford, the mayor of Corinth, Farmer Tom, joining us today like he always does. Anyway, Tom, you have a good weekend, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.